Good morning, students. In earlier class, we discussed about the capacitive compensation for power factor improvement. That is, effect of fixed capacitors and switched capacitors, how the capacitors come into picture based upon the load variation. So in today's class, we are going to be discuss the power factor correction, how the power factor is to be enhanced with the help of the capacitor banks. Let us see, first of all, what is the power factor. Generally, the cosine of the angle between current and sending end voltage is known as the power factor of the circuit as shown. Yes. So, the cosine of the angle between current and sending end voltage is known as the power factor of the circuit. See. The voltage, the angle between voltage and current is, so the in phase component and out of phase components of current I is multiplied by receiving end voltage VR. The resultant relationship can be shown on a triangle known as the power triangle. See here, this is the receiving end voltage, and the in phase component IR is equal to I cos theta, and the out of phase component is the Ix, which is the I sin theta. So these two are to be multiplied with the receiving end voltage. We will have a triangle which is known as the power triangle. So P kilowatts, the in phase component is multiplied with the receiving end voltage, which is the real power, and the out of phase component is multiplied with receiving end voltage, and this is the reactive power, and the combination of real and reactive power is the apparent power. So the angle between P and S is the theta. Theta is the power factor angle here, which is defined as the ratio of real power by apparent power, which is defined as the ratio of real power by apparent power. So this figure represents a phasor diagram and power triangle for typical distribution load. For sample load is to be considered, and these diagrams are to be prepared. So now, how the power factor is to be adjusted by keeping one power is constant from the power triangle. So in this diagram, the real power is to be kept constant. The real power is kept constant, and for a step variation of 0.1, 0.1, 0.1 in the power factor. See, what about the remaining two powers? So the real power is constant, which is 100 kVA, let us assume, and the power factor is unity in the sense the kVA is also same to the real power. Here reactive power is almost 0, so that the power factor is real power by apparent power, that is equal to 1. A step variation of power factor from 1 to 0.9 by keeping the real power constant. So Q is equal to P is equal, cos pi is equal to P by S. Cos pi is equal to P by S. S is equal to P by cos pi. So P is 100 kilowatts. P is 100 kilowatts divided by 0.9, which will gives the 111.11 kVA is the kVA, and once S is equal to square root of P square minus Q square formula, you can obtain the reactive. For a power factor reduction of unity to 0.9, the reactive power developed in the circuit is 48.43 kVAR. Is so similarly the power factor is reduced from 0.9 to 0.8 by keeping the real power constant. So the apparent power is 125 kVA and the reactive power is 75 kVA. Yes. Similarly, the power factor is reduced from 0.8 to 0.7 by keeping the real power constant. The apparent power is 142.86 kVA and the reactive power is 102 kVA. Like that, you can reduce another step to 0.6. The reactive power is 133.33 kVA and apparent power is 166.67 kVA. So this figure illustration of the required increase in the apparent and reactive powers as a function of the load power factor, holding the real power of the load constant. See, a step variation of the power factor from unity to 0.9, 0.8, 0.7 and 0.6, we can observe how the reactive power is increased in the circuit. So if you minimize the reactive power, so that the power factor is to be improved. And you observe this thing here by keeping kVA constant, So illustration of the change in the real and reactive powers as a function of the load power factor, holding the apparent power of the load constant. So apparent power is kVA is kept constant by step change in the power factor of 1 to 0.9, 0.9 to 0.8, 0.8 to 0.7, 0.7 to 0.6. Then what's the real power? At the time of unity, the real power and apparent power both are same. Yes. So the power factor is reduced from 1 to 0.9 by keeping the apparent power constant. Yes. So real power is equal to apparent power into the power factor, which is equal to 90 watts. And real power and apparent power is known, reactive power you can easily calculate it. See, the increasing of real power, decreasing of real power as the power factor decreases and increasing of the reactive power with a step variation of 0.1, 0.1. And from 0.9 onwards to the power factor reduces from 0.8 by keeping the apparent power constant. The real power is 80 kilowatts and reactive power is 60 kVA. Like that, it is to be reduced. So here with this two diagrams, we can observe that there may be a possibility of changing the real and reactive powers by keeping one power constant and changing the power factor. Yes. So the generation of reactive power at power plant and it is supplied to the load center which is not feasible economically, but it can be easily provided by capacitors located at the load centers. So the power factor correction diagram as shown. So this is the power factor correction diagram. This is the supply end. This onwards the power is passing to the load centers. So the real power is P, reactive power is Q1. So for correcting the power factor, a capacitor which is connected at the load end. So capacitor consumes the active power and injects the reactive power into the circuit. So the net reactive power into the circuit is Q1 minus Qc. Yes. So illustration of power factor correction diagram. Initially, the existing system supplying a variable load whose real power is P, reactive power is Q1. So for correction of the power factor, here we are connecting a capacitor at the load end so that it consumes the reactive power and injects the reactive power into the circuit. The injected reactive power is the Qc. So therefore, the net reactive power is Q1 minus Qc. So you observe here in this diagram, P is the original real power and S1 is the original P, S1, 0. This is the original system with Q1 reactive power. Yes. And after placing a capacitor, the capacitor injects a reactive power of Qc. So therefore, the net reactive power is Q2 is equal to Q1 minus Qc. Therefore, the angle between P and S2 is to be reduces from pi 1 to pi 2. So now the power factor, new power factor is equal to P by S2. Earlier power factor P by S1 were a large span between P and S1. Here the reduced span, this will increase the power factor. So this figure represents the illustration of power factor correction. Assume that a load is supplied with a real power P, lagging reactive power Q1 and apparent power S1 at a lagging power factor of cos pi 1 is equal to P by S1. And this can be also written as cos pi 1 is equal to P by P square plus Q1 square whole power half. That is P by S. S is equal to square root of P square plus Q square. This next. When a shunt capacitor of QC kVAr is installed at the load, the power factor can be improved from cos pi 1 to cos pi 2. So therefore cos pi 2 equal to P by S2 I think it is. So cos pi 2 is equal to P by P square plus Q1 minus QC whole square whole power half. So as the denominator reduces, automatically the cos pi 2 increases. Why? Because those two are inversely proportional to each other. So the net reactive power is reduced. The original reactive power is reduced with the capacitor reactive power, so that the denominator is reduced and cos pi 2 is equal to cos pi 2 is increased. Finally conclude that as the power factor moves towards unity due to the effectiveness of capacitors, the line kVA transmitted decreases, increasing the load capacity or reducing the line copper losses by decreasing the line current. This results in economic saving in capital expenditures for release of kVA capacity. So this is about the power factor correction. The power factor correction. Thank you.